Hi, and welcome into another video. So today we will be exploring GitHub Codespaces. So GitHub Codespaces is our very own virtual environment inside GitHub Cloud. So we will hop into our GitHub account and see how we can launch it and what it can do for us. Alright, so we are logged in into our GitHub account. It's a free one, not a paid one, so that it's also important. And let's go for a moment to the GitHub Codespaces pricing. So as I mentioned, it is our own private environment. So there will be some kind of a virtual machine, either 2 cores, 4 cores, 8 cores, or whatever, with some storage already attached. And it will be pre-configured with a Visual Studio Code, and we will be able to work on it as in our local environment. This is similar to AWS Cloud 9, which we talked about previously, but I decided to also create a video about GitHub Codespaces because actually Cloud 9 is already a deprecated service and you will not be able to launch that in a new AWS account. So as I mentioned, it is free, even for a free account, and you have up to 60 hours and 50 gigs of storage for each month on a 2-core machine, or if you go into more cores, as you can see, the timing you have in a free tier just drops a little bit. So let's go to GitHub and let's navigate from the panel to Codespaces, and here we have two options. So either we can create our own new code space using a repository that we have access to. So let's say I would be able to use this Next.js to-do list and launch it from this repo and it already be cloned into the environment. Or we can create a code space out of the template using a lot of different frameworks or programming language. So as we can see, we can launch a blank one, we can launch .NET, Ruby on Rails, React, Express, Next.js, and so on. I will launch today, for the sake of argument, let's launch a very basic Express.js app. So we will use this template for a backend service based on the JavaScript and the Node.js. This is the Express.js framework. And as you can see, we are presented right away. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. We are presented right away with a VS Code. So we have already our project instantiated. You can see there are node modules here. There is a index.js here. Even we have this terminal here. Here is the bash that we can just use as any other terminal here. And here we have already Codespace, one more terminal opened. And as you can see, it already even started this Express.js app and using NodeMon, so we can already see and look for the changes in the file when it will be saved, and they will be automatically reloaded. And even it gets better. So actually, there is already a browser here opened, and the port forwarding is being made and so on. So you are able actually to see what you are developing. So if we would have here this Next.js app or whatever front-end framework, we can see right away how it looks in this browser window. And right now, as we are creating a backend service, so very simple one, we are just taking Express from the node modules that was pre-installed. We are instantiating Express app on port 3000, and there is just very basic console log that example app is listening on port. We can see it here. And here we have the very basic route on the /get method, and it's just sending back hello world. That's why we have this hello world here. And if I would add something else here, so let's say hello world from GitHub Codespaces, and I would save it, you can see it automatically restarted due to changes. And if I reload this window, I will see it opened. And now I can even add one more of such routes. So let's do maybe test, and I will just code the very basic new route here so that you can see how it looks, and I will send back the object. This is a test path. This is a test path. And here it's already saved, and we can go here to the /test, and we will see that we are getting something else. So you can work on your application here, create new routes, do a front-end application or whatever. It will be automatically restarted in this particular example of the Express.js and probably React also. And here you will be able to see your work. Here you can go through those informations. Here you can use terminal as usual. So probably we can curl localhost on this route 3000, and we will also get hello world from GitHub Codespaces. So that's a very brief introduction to GitHub Codespaces. You can do a lot of stuff with GitHub Codespaces. This dev container JSON, you can also customize your own environment. So here we have like a config. There's those CPUs 4 that were presented. We can change it to 2. Here on update content, what is happening, wait for, and so on and so on. Ports forwarding, everything is set here. So that is basically how it looks like. So then you can access it from, let's say, all over the world. You can stop this code space. You can open it back so that we can do a lot of stuff with that, and just be reminded that there are those 60 hours for free each month for a 2-core machine. So you can either stop it or configure it to stop if you don't use the code space. So that will be all for today, and hope to see you in another video. Bye.